The Cleveland Browns are living one of those weeks when the noise outside the locker room hits harder than any blitz, and the tension around the team is reaching that breaking point vibe fans in Cleveland know all too well. There's a situation unfolding that nobody expected, and it's pulling attention away from the field at the exact moment the Browns needed total focus. It's the kind of storyline that tests maturity, tests patience, and most of all, tests how tight this locker room really is. And trust me, what just happened has everyone in the league talking. So stay locked in, hit that like button, subscribe now, and don't blink, because this one could shift the energy in Cleveland fast. I need to start by talking about Dillon Gabriel ***, because the moment his name drifted into the national spotlight this week, everything around the Cleveland Browns took on a whole new temperature. And I'll be honest with you, I felt the heat myself, because whenever a young quarterback gets wrapped up in noise that isn't even coming from his own play, that's the kind of situation that can spiral in ways nobody sees coming. When Cam Newton stepped in with that message, I heard the urgency in his voice, and I felt every ounce of that concern. He wasn't talking to social media. He was talking to the locker room, the franchise, and the reality that narratives can swallow a player whole when he's already trying to fight for his footing. I watched this whole situation unfold with Gabriel's fiancée, Zoe Caswell, and let me tell you, I'm not here to demonize anybody. I know how emotions flare after a loss, especially a loss to a powerhouse like the San Francisco 49ers. But when she posted that TikTok, the laughing emoji, the line about the Browns losing, the reply about everybody in the building wanting Dillon to play, suddenly the spotlight wasn't on Shedeur Sanders, wasn't on Dillon's concussion, wasn't even on the Browns' record. It was on her. And that's exactly what Cam Newton was warning about. Because once the +1 becomes the headline, once the internet decides to run with a story, it stops being about intent and starts being about perception. And perception sticks longer than any stat line. But what really struck me was Newton's clarity when he said never become a distraction. I felt that because I've watched careers wobble from far less. When he said the world's first impression of Dillon Gabriel came through someone else's comments, that hit like a hammer. And he wasn't lying. Fans don't forget their introductions. And right now Gabriel is in the toughest spot imaginable. He's the backup behind Shedeur Sanders, a rookie with all the lights on him, while Deshaun Watson quietly works his way back into practice. Gabriel went 1-5 as a starter, and you better believe people remember that too. But adversity doesn't define a player. How he responds does, and this moment right here might be the biggest test of his young career. I've been thinking a lot about what this means for the Browns as a whole, because whenever quarterback drama pops up in Cleveland, the air gets heavier. You can feel it. Shedeur Sanders is about to make his third straight start, and the kid has shown poise, confidence, and a willingness to push the ball downfield. But let's not pretend this depth chart is settled. Not when Watson is circling back toward healthy. Not when the front office holds 2 first-round picks next year and has every avenue available to reshape the future. Gabriel's margin for error is vanishing, not because he lacks talent, but because the NFL is a business where timing is everything, and moments like these can define the next 5 years of a franchise. And that's why Cam Newton stepping in mattered more than people realize. He wasn't chastising, he was protecting. He was trying to give Gabriel and Caswell a blueprint to survive the storm before it turns into a hurricane neither of them can outrun. I'm sitting here thinking about how easily this could shift Gabriel's trajectory, not because of anything he said, but because the public saw noise where silence should have been. And I'm challenging Browns fans to consider the human side of this, to recognize the pressure, the scrutiny, the constant evaluation these quarterbacks live under. Because if this franchise has learned anything over decades of turbulence, it's that unity is fragile, momentum is temporary, and the smallest distractions can snowball into narratives that bury even the most promising seasons before they ever fully take shape right now. So tell me, Cleveland, how do you want this story to unfold? Drop your thoughts, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in with the Browns community.